It's taken almost a year to nut out, but Tasmania's timber industry and environmentalists have finally reached an agreement. 430,000 hectares of native forest will be protected from logging, but there's no word on a Tamar Valley pulp mill. The three-stage agreement is substantially dependent on how governments and guns respond.
It's an 11th hour agreement that many thought would never come. The signatories to the Forest Peace Deal have signed off on the protection of 430,000 hectares of native forest, which environment groups want legislated as national park. Up until this week, the timber industry was holding firm on 270,000 hectares. Environment groups had wanted more than 570,000.
We now have a formalised agreement with some ambition in there for conservation outcomes people never would have thought possible. It's
a compromise agreement, as most agreements are.
It's dependent on Gunn's recently sold Triabunna woodchip mill continuing to operate and the Southwood and Somerset mills, which are earmarked for closure, remaining open. But there's no agreement on the proposed Tamar Valley pulp mill.
I don't think that this is a good agreement at all. This agreement was predicated on, in the first instance, a pulp mill. That has been taken off the table.
The agreement relies on the continuation of all wood supply contracts guaranteed under the Statement of Principles. The supply of high-quality sawlog necessary to meet existing contracts is 155,000 cubic metres per annum. Tar-An requires 265,000 cubic metres of peeler veneer, and the industry claim for special species timbers is 12,000 cubic metres. Meeting the requirements leaves between 360,000 and 430,000 hectares of native forest available for immediate protection.
From the point of view of all processors of native forest timber in Tasmania, they should breathe a sigh of relief.
The broker of the peace talks, Bill Kelty, says the deal depends significantly on the response of both federal and state governments. He says a key point is financial support, but doesn't pinpoint a specific figure to help affected workers and regions.
We as a government now need to work through whether or not we can turn this agreement into something that works for conservation and jobs in Tasmania.
But the Wilderness Society has concerns. It abandoned the peace talks last month and wasn't party to the agreement. The Society's now released a statement saying it doesn't endorse it. The Premier Lara Giddings wasn't available for an interview but welcomed the agreement. She'll receive a briefing from Bill Kelty tomorrow. Anna Yard, ABC News.